navigate to Costco. Navigate to Costco. I thought about leaving the parking lot, the parking space. It wants to go, but it's going the wrong way. Let's try that again. So the car wash was once again a bust, open till 7 o'clock every day, but they're rarely there after 5 o'clock. They're open for their convenience, apparently not for mine. Have to change that monthly subscription. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name's Rick. We're out testing FSD 13.2.8. Ready for a new update. Ready for the unsupervised update. Coming to a Tesla near you in Austin in June. Let's see how we plan on getting there. This might be faster. It has rained absolutely all day here in the far, far north Dallas area of Prosper and Salina.
Nancy Pelosi and the coup. What goes around, comes around.
Jesus Christ, has anybody ever learned anything?
In America, there's nothing you cannot do if you're willing to fight for it. You gotta fight, fight, fight. Oh, I've heard that expression. The first graduating class of the Golden Age. Roll Tide.
He grabbed me from my hair, then he slapped me. I have pictures of all the bruises. He would just wake up and like hit me.
The Maryland Dad strikes again. Plus,
sometimes you gotta put your foot down. A little spanking never hurt anybody.
the Raging Cajun says Democrats need to go back to school.
Are we really gonna do this? Are we really gonna? We just got clobbered with young people. We got clobbered by males. We got clobbered by identity politics. And you're gonna wade right back into this? Jesus Christ, has anybody ever learned anything? If we're gonna chase every god 25-year-old that says some thing out of the party, and under the grounds of some allocated positions based on gender or ethnicity or whatever the they do, we're just doing the same thing. We never learn. We never learn.
Carville used to know how to win, but you can't win with Democrats who hate men. And they're starting to hate Nancy. At least she kept them disciplined. But Hakeem doesn't want anything to do with her because he doesn't like women bossing him around.
I was hearing from leadership staff that the leadership on Capitol Hill right now wants to sort of move away from that Pelosi era, that they want to, that they don't want to embrace anyone or anything that's like Pelosi, which I just think is the dumbest shit
That's
ever.
crazy.
Members don't want any Pelosi. She's the baddest in the business. We actually landed punches. We actually won 40 seats. I'm just surprised that they're not calling everybody that has landed some punches on Trump, asking for the best advice.
If Nancy didn't have a busted hip and the coup sticking to her, she'd be the tip of the spear. But Hakeem's had it with her, and he'd rather do sit-ins and sing-alongs with his boy Booker. Pelosi says Hakeem has a big head.
So I'm not sure why they're not drawing on her more often. It's probably an ego thing. I mean, I hate to say it. And part of the challenge, too, is, people want to establish themselves.
Right.
And how do you establish yourself if you have, And also, too, Pelosi, I can imagine, I've not seen her much since she stepped down. It's hard to be a boss and not be the boss.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's hard to bring somebody like her into the room and she not take over the whole strategy.
Pelosi thinks Hakeem's off message, undisciplined, and 100 days in, she's giving him and the whole party a C+. Hakeem's about to flunk out of school. But Kamala's getting her groove back.
Have you learned the boots on the ground dance yet?
I have not. You know what? I know. Will you teach me?
I will.
Okay, I'm serious.
You-
We do it together.
You
I'm
serious?
very serious.
Okay, we'll get this after
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Go ahead. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, now cross. All right.
There we go.
Trump's got the YMCA and Harris has whatever you call that. The White House says keep dancing.
I think I speak for everyone at the White House. We encourage Kamala Harris to continue going out and do speaking engagements.
Obama's still playing puppet master. First Clooney, now he's sending Van Jones out to find one black voter who says, I should have listened to Barry.
If you had to do it all over again, would you vote for Donald Trump again, yes or no?
Yes, I would. Now, in the future, I am not a diehard Democrat or diehard Republican. If there were a Democratic candidate who was more aligned for me, then I would vote Democrat.
If you go back in time, would you vote for Donald Trump, yes or no?
Yes.
I think I might know the answer on this thing.
She said yes. It's immediately yes. No, I'm sorry.
If you had to do it all over again, would you vote for Donald Trump, yes or no?
1,000% absolutely yes.
No one really thinks Kamala can run again. Even the media is admitting she's a fraud. Remember when 60 Minutes hacked up her interview? Well, they're getting nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Edited Interview Award. I'm serious. They had to carry her, and now they're giving each other awards for it. CNN's warning Democrats, stay away. She's trouble.
It's not just about regretting that vote. It's literally saying who would be doing the better job right now. And Trump continues to score a higher percentage of the vote than Kamala Harris. It's not even close. It's an 8-point advantage, which in this politics, well, that's a wide ocean.
It's huge, and maybe tells the Democrats that their messaging is not working.
The Democrats don't have the cards, and 100 days in, they still don't know how to deal with Trump. They're shacking up with MS-13, and Steven Spielberg's so ashamed he stopped helping them produce videos. Watch.
I'd rather have 100 bad haircuts than to deal with 100 days of Donald Trump.
I'd rather have 100 vaccination shots in my arm.
I would rather have to take 100 scammer calls than go through the last 100 days.
I would rather sit on Interstate 84 in a traffic jam for 100 hours.
I'd rather cook 100 family meals, and believe me, my kids are going to find this very funny, than 100 days of Trump.
Democrats are getting laughed at in newsrooms. And late nights trying to make this guy Pritzker a thing. Cooking up nicknames that Trump should have given him.
All right, you ready? Here's the list. JB Pizza. I like this. JB Back Ribs. JB Back Be a song with that too, you know? J Biggie. JB the Hut. J Prince his pants skirt. Prince Crackers, Governor Big Shorts, and JB the Refrigerator Pritzker. That's a pretty like that.
No one's hungry for JB back ribs. Although Jazzy's a little more appetizing, not to be confused with David Crockett, says it feels like Trump's trying to kill her.
Same thing as it relates to the planes that are falling out of the sky. We need some real transparency, and we need some honesty, and we need to make sure that the American people are just as enraged as we all should be, because this administration is truly trying to kill us, it feels like.
Trump's not the one with blood on his hands. He didn't open the border and let killers in. The only person who's confident is crooked.
At the end of the day, we will defeat these people by winning elections. I mean, even if we win every court case, we still have to figure out how to get that enforced. Even if the press does lots of exposés, you're dealing with an administration that has no shame. They don't care that they are, you know, being seen as corrupt or cruel or whatever. That is kind of the brand.
Democrats shouldn't take advice from Hillary. Bill maybe, not Hillary. House liberals they don't even want to wait until the next election. They're ready to impeach. But one House Democrat said, the guy got impeached twice. How did it work out for us? Democrats learn nothing. They're just getting dirtier. Look at what they're doing to Fetterman. Today, New York Magazine dropped a bomb, saying his staff thinks he's mentally unfit and can't do the job. They say he's erratic and impossible to work for. That's funny. We think Fetterman's been making more sense than ever. It's no secret Democrats didn't like when he went to Mar-a-Lago, and apparently he was considering voting for Hegseth. Oh my God, that was the last straw. Now they're leaking that Fetterman's catatonic, can barely string two sentences together, walks around his office in tight loops, and engages in risky behavior like FaceTimes texts and reads news articles while driving. Well, I think we're all guilty of that. They're also reporting that his staff took away his social media passwords and were engaged in secret conversations with his doctor behind his back. Fetterman denies all of this and says they're quoting disgruntled staffers. Kind of sounds like they're trying to 25th Amendment him. The only Democrat who speaks his mind. The only one with a shred of independence. What does it say about the Democratic Party that they can't tolerate a single senator not towing the party line? Host of the Winston Marshall Show and former Mumford & Sons band member Winston Marshall is here. All right, Winston, I mean, I've listened to Fetterman. I mean, he sounds reasonable. Actually sounds like a guy you could have a drink with. Now the Democrats want to coup him. What's that about?
Well, look, let's just zoom out a little bit.
Zoom out.
Okay, so at the moment, the dollar, since Trump's inauguration, the dollar is down about 10 points. The uncertainty index is at record highs. Not only that, Trump supporters, like I think of Ken Griffin, is warning that the markets are in trouble. And on top of that, the CCP, who Trump has declared a tariff war on, their whole objective, their whole plan to deal with Trump's tariff war is to eat bitterness is the quote they're using, and get to the midterms and hope the Democrats can put a dent into the majorities it has in the Senate and the House. In other words, all the Democrats have to do is look competent. They're not even competent enough to look competent. In fact, they're not even competent enough to not look crazy.
So you're saying they should have taken Carville's advice and play dead? Play dead into the midterms, don't fly to El Salvador and chase after gang members, and just don't look crazy.
Playing dead would be a hell of a lot better than what they're doing now. Get Hillary Clinton and Pelosi away from the microphone, away from any camera screens. This is what people voted against. They personify the elite that people didn't want. And then the rest of them just keep quiet. That is better than what they're doing now. Just don't let anyone know what they're about.
Well, Kamala's dancing. She gave a speech earlier this week, and Joe Biden and Jill are going on The View next week.
Oh, that'll be fun. I mean, I guess it's entertaining, but we also don't we want real opposition? Don't we want a real challenge to what's going on?
We want people to work together for the goodness and the greatness of the country.
Sure.
And if you have honest disagreements, make those cases, but do it in a normal way. Don't sing. Don't shoot the president. You know, don't investigate him, leak his taxes. Don't do that.
Absolutely, and just the same. At the moment, they're behaving. They're completely playing into the president's hands. It couldn't be going better from his point of view. They look like lunatics, which means that he's basically be able to get away with kind of what he wants.
Democrats used to be cool. I remember Barack Obama days. He was cool. Everything around him was just cool. Culture was all Democrat.
Oh, I remember those days. I was at the White House when Obama was president, but all the best Democrats went to the Republicans. The Democrats took over the Republican Party. Trump, Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Rogan. All of these are old Dems.
Well, they didn't really leave. They claimed that they were kind of forced out of the party.
That's absolutely right. They forced it over, but they seem to have taken over the Republican Party in a sense. Myself, I kind of come from that sort of Kennedy Democrat background. That's kind of my worldview. But I find way more alignment now with what the Republicans are doing than what the Democrats are doing.
How did you find yourself migrating or changing your positions? Or even did you change?
Well, one of the interesting things, again, if we can zoom out, is in the old days, it used to be that we sort of agree on what the problems are, but we have different ideas for the solutions. Today, we don't even agree on what the problems are. In fact, the Democrats don't even understand. They can't tell you what a woman is. We don't even agree on what reality. You show the example of this Emmy Award for the interview.
Right.
Clearly, that was a terrible, a pivotal moment for Kamala in losing the election. Us seeing how they were editing, how the mainstream media were manipulating things in order to try and swing the election that way. For us, it was the curtains were up.
We got another challenge for FSD here, negotiating parking lots into and out of Costco. For all the great FSD shows on the roads, still can be a little bit iffy into the parking lot. Okay, we're going to take over here and not bore yourselves or me with this, and we'll be back.